The Handmaid's Tale is set in the dystopian Republic of Gilead, a theocratic and patriarchal society where women's rights are severely restricted. Society is strictly hierarchical and controlled by religious doctrine, with a focus on fertility and purity. The narrative reveals how Gilead's leaders manipulate scripture and fear to justify their authority and oppress citizens, creating a climate of fear and repression. The protagonist, known as Offred, named after the commander she serves, Offred, is a handmaid. Handmaids are women forced into reproductive servitude to bear children for the ruling class due to widespread infertility caused by environmental degradation. Offred's role highlights how Gilead commodifies women based on their fertility, reducing them to mere vessels for reproduction and stripping them of individual rights. Offred's life revolves around the ceremony, a ritualized act where she must participate in intercourse with the commander in the presence of his wife, Serena Joy, in an attempt to conceive a child. This ceremony symbolizes the reduction of women to mere vessels for procreation. It also reinforces the theme of power and control over women's bodies, with handmaids' lives reduced to their biological function in an orchestrated display of domination. Offred wears a red cloak, signifying fertility, blood, and her assigned role. The cloak also symbolizes her lack of autonomy, making her highly visible and thus easier to monitor. The red garment serves as a constant reminder of her servitude, and is a mark of shame and powerlessness, representing her inability to hide or escape Gilead's watchful eyes. The society categorizes women into strict roles: wives, Marthas, household workers, aunts, trainers of handmaids, and econowives, wives of lower status men. This rigid structure reflects Gilead's view of women as functional commodities. Each woman's dress and role reinforce the societal order and serve as a tool of control, limiting their interactions and solidarity with one another. Offred reflects on her life before Gilead, when she was married to a man named Luke and had a daughter. Gilead has erased her past, stripped her of her identity, and even renamed her. This loss symbolizes how the regime denies women personal agency. The regime systematically erases all individuality, eroding relationships and identity, to sever connections to any former life or personal identity outside of Gilead's rigid structure. Offred often recalls memories of her pre-Gilead life, cherishing memories of freedom, love, and individuality. These flashbacks represent her resistance to Gilead's oppressive reality, keeping alive her sense of self. Her memories serve as a silent form of rebellion, helping her hold on to her true self in the face of Gilead's relentless oppression and control. Life in Gilead is controlled by fear and surveillance, with spies known as eyes constantly monitoring citizens. This oppressive surveillance system keeps everyone in line, showing the extent to which Gilead goes to maintain its power. The omnipresence of eyes creates a sense of paranoia, where citizens, fearful of betrayal, are forced into silence and complicity, reinforcing the regime's control. The commander secretly invites Offred to his office for forbidden interactions, like playing Scrabble and discussing old magazines. These meetings reveal his hypocrisy, as he partakes in the very freedoms he denies to others, highlighting Gilead's corruption. His actions expose the hypocrisy of those in power, who exploit their privilege to satisfy personal desires while enforcing strict moral codes on others. Offred begins a secret and risky affair with Nick, the household's chauffeur, at Serena Joy's suggestion to improve her chances of conception. Their bond becomes a symbol of hope, intimacy, and rebellion against the restrictions of Gilead. This relationship provides Offred with emotional connection and agency, allowing her a brief escape from the constraints and isolation of Gilead's rigid structure. Offred learns about Mayday, an underground resistance movement. Though she is afraid to participate, Mayday represents a spark of defiance and the hope for liberation, showing that resistance is still possible even in a highly controlled society. Mayday's existence symbolizes the enduring human spirit and the potential for collective resistance against oppression, offering hope amid despair. The commander takes Offred to Jezebel's, an underground brothel where powerful men enjoy illicit pleasures. This experience exposes Gilead's hypocrisy and the commander's exploitation of power, revealing the truth behind Gilead's facade of piety. The existence of Jezebel's underscores the regime's duplicity, where elites indulge in prohibited acts under a pretense of morality, showcasing the underlying corruption of Gilead's values. Throughout her narrative, Offred grapples with betrayal, guilt, and survival. She reflects on her actions and decisions, questioning whether small acts of resistance are enough, given the sacrifices involved in resisting Gilead. This internal struggle reveals her fear of punishment and guilt over her choices, which underscores the moral complexities and emotional toll of surviving under an authoritarian regime. Forbidden from writing, Offred uses memory as a form of resistance. Her narrative itself is a testament to the power of storytelling as a means of preserving identity, showing how language can be an act of defiance. By recording her story in her mind, she reclaims a sense of control and fights back against Gilead's erasure of personal histories, asserting the value of memory and narrative. The story ends ambiguously, with Offred taken away by men claiming to be from the resistance. Her fate is left uncertain, representing the tenuous balance between hope and despair in a repressive society. This ending serves as a reminder of the precariousness of hope under totalitarianism, leaving readers to ponder her fate and the limits of resistance. The Handmaid's Tale explores themes of control, identity, power, and resilience. Symbols like the red cloak, Jezebels, and May Day highlight the constraints placed on women and the small yet significant acts of rebellion against an oppressive system. The novel serves as a cautionary tale, warning against the dangers of authoritarianism, and celebrates the resilience of those who, despite severe oppression, find ways to preserve their identities and resist. Let us know in the comments what books you'd like to see us summarize next. Happy learning! We will catch you in the next story.